All these great stories are about men doing amazing things. Why aren't there any stories about women heroes?
Well, what about the story of Atalanta, one of the greatest hunters and athletes that ever lived?
Who on earth are you, and where did you come from?
I'm Artemis, the goddess of hunting, and be more polite to me in the future, my dear. I've turned people into trees for not minding their manners.
Yes, your goddess. I mean your huntress.
Don't worry about titles. Just listen to the story. When Atalanta was born, her father, the king, was sad, not happy like many fathers of his day.
I wanted a girl or a bird to become a good hunter and make my proud. Take her away and live her in the mountains forever.
What a rat her father was.
He was a rat, but he wasn't a successful rat. The baby girl lived.
But how?
Animals proved kinder than humans. A family of bears adopted the child and raised her as their own. They taught her the secrets of the forest. She became a great hunter. With amazing speed, she could chase down her prey. And with her sharp eyes and steady hands, she became a deadly shot with her bow and arrow.
But if she stayed all by herself in the woods, how did she become famous?
I'm afraid I had something to do with that. One day I got rather mad at one of the local rulers, King Aeneas, for not paying enough attention to my temples. They were getting a bit run down, you see, and people weren't making offerings to me anymore. I sent the good king a little present. Actually, it was quite a big present.
I bet he was pleased.
Would you be pleased if a giant, fire-breathing boar with razor-sharp tusks appeared in your backyard?
Help me! Help my kingdom! Help my kingdom! It's a giant boar! Help me!
What's so special about this wild thing? Send someone out to kill it, we'll put an apple in its mouth and have it for supper.
I'm afraid that's not going to work, my dear. You see, this boar is as big as an ox, and its tusks can slice down trees, and flames shoot out of its nostrils. If we don't stop it soon, we'll have no harvest, and you'll starve.
Well, then send all the best hunters in the world after it. They can bring it down, I'm sure. So we'll call them out from Greece's greatest hunters. Some of the top shots included a brave warrior named Jason and Theseus of Athens. Aeneas' son, Meleager, and his two uncles headed the hunting party.
One of the heroes. This will go down in history as one of the greatest hunts of all time. Wait a minute. Who's that?
Atalanta strolled into the middle of the crowd. Her beautiful hair was not in a ponytail. She had an ivory quiver full of arrows slung over her shoulder and a powerful bow in her hands.
I've heard you need someone who's a good shot.
At that very second, Meleager fell in love with Atalanta. Unfortunately, not everybody was so happy to have Atalanta on the hunt.
A woman on a hunt? Who ever heard of anything so foolish? She'll be nothing but trouble. I know it. Send her away.
No, she stays. I bet she proves to be the best hunter of us all. She already bewitched her nephew. We have to keep an eye.
Remembering their purpose, the hunters put aside their disagreements over Atalanta and set out to defeat the gigantic boar.
We'll search high and low for that overgrown pig.
I don't see the ugly beast anywhere. Let's look deeper in the woods.
And so they stepped carefully into the darkest part of the forest. In the midst of the tall trees and fallen branches, the hunters grew nervous.
Look out! Oh, sorry. Thought that stump over there was the... There it is!
My big boar had seen the hunters before they saw it. It raced right past them, leaving them in great confusion. Their weapons went flying in all different directions. Only luck had kept the hunters from killing each other.
Hey, next time look where you're throwing that spear.
I didn't throw that one. My spear landed over in that tree over there. Oh no! Here goes the boar again!
Only Atalanta kept her cool. As the boar crashed through the tree, she aimed one of her arrows carefully and let it fly. The missile struck the boar right behind the ear, freeing the people from its deadly range.
Now, Meleager, use your spear and finish the job.
I'll try.
With that, the prince thrust the spear into the unlucky boar, killing it and freeing the people from its deadly range.
Atalanta, you drew the first blood from this beast. You deserve the trophy, the tusks and the hide.
Wait a minute, nephew. You killed the beast. The prizes are yours, not that she-bear's.
Please, watch your tongue, Uncle. Atalanta deserves the prize, just as she deserves my love.
Prince, I don't know what to say.
Ivy, you're certainly not getting any prize, and you're certainly not getting my nephew. You're just nobody from the wrong side of the forest.
With that, the uncles turned their swords toward Atalanta. Meleager was prepared. In love and in a rage, he drew a sword and killed them both. When Queen Althea, Meleager's mother, heard what had happened at the hunt, she was torn apart inside.
How could my son have done such a terrible thing? He killed his own uncles to defend
than that wild girl. My brothers must be avenged. But to avenge him would mean I would have to kill my own son. What can I do?
After hours of agonizing thought, she decided that there was no other choice. Her own son would have to give up his life to pay for the deaths of his uncles.
Servant, go to the back of my closet and tap on the wall. When you hear a hollow sound, you have found my secret hiding place. Bring me the chest I have kept hidden for all these years.
The servant did as the queen commanded. In time, he returned with a wooden box that was covered with 20 years worth of dust. Althea opened the box and took out an old log that had been charred by the fire.
Put this on the fire.
The servant thought it strange, but did as the queen commanded. She returned to find this queen sobbing.
I carried out your orders, great queen, but can you tell me why you kept that plain old log for so many years?
A story that pains me. One night when Meleager was just a baby, I sat before the fire singing my child to sleep. I must have fallen asleep myself because I had a terrible dream.
What was it, your highness?
I dreamt I saw their three fates, the old women that weave the events of our lives and decide we will die, holding a short piece of string.
The boy's life will not be long. It will end when the log in that fireplace burns out.
I leapt up and with my bare hands pulled the burning log from the fireplace. I put out the flames and hid the log so that no harm would come to my son. But now, my son has killed my brother.
The servant turned to look at the log blazing away in the fireplace. Meanwhile, in the forest, Meleager and Atalanta were talking.
Atalanta, you're brave, strong, and beautiful. You know I'm single, and I was wondering if...
Meleager, you don't look well. You're sweating. You've got a terrible fever.
I do feel like I'm burning up. Can you please give me some water?
Your highness, the fire is almost out.
Atalanta raced to a nearby stream. She kept her hands and caught up some water and returned to Meleager's side. When she returned, she found Meleager dead. In just a short time, she had fallen in love with him. Now he was gone.
Some God's hand is in this, and here's what I have to say to that. Since you've taken the one who I love, I will never love another.
With that, Atalanta disappeared in the forest, swearing in her heart that she would never, ever marry him. Atalanta wanted to be left alone, but she was a little too late. News of the great boar hunt had spread far and wide, as did the word about her beauty. Her father, the king, who had cruelly abandoned her at birth, came forward and invited her to live in the palace. There, young men, eager to win her approval, began camping out around the palace door.
Atalanta, what should I tell those men outside? They say they won't go home until you promise to marry one of them. Something's got to be done, because we can't get anything done around here with them blocking the doorway.
Send them away. Tell them I hate every one of them.
We tried that already, remember? They don't listen to us. Please, go talk to them.
All right, but it's not going to be pretty.
Atalanta appeared at the gates of her father's castle and was sworn by hopeful suitors.
Marry me, and you'll never have to look at another man.
If you marry me, I'll be right by your side forever.
Just marry me.
If you're all trying to scare me, it's working. Okay, I'll marry one of you.
Yes!
The one who beats me in a race, that is.
Hey, there's no harm in trying. I'll give it a shot. You might slip for something.
We can't do that. You're as fast as lightning.
Oh, I forgot to mention the catch. If you win, you get to marry me. But if I win, it's death for the loser. And I'm serious.
Well, Atalanta, maybe you're right. We could just be friends.
I got a problem with my Achilles heel, but they're not racing today. See you later.
I have no fear today.
Surprisingly enough, not all the suitors gave up. Some were so in love with Atalanta that they did race her, even though it cost them their lives.
Sorry about this, but I tried to warn you.
One day, a young man named Hippomenes came by to see the determined suitor challenge Atalanta. He couldn't believe that anyone would risk his life for some woman's hand in marriage. Then he saw Atalanta.
I must marry that woman or I'll die. The only problem is, I'm most going to be died trying to marry her. I think I'll need some divine help.
Hippomenes asked for help from Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Aphrodite, who was none too pleased that Atalanta had sworn she would never love again, gave them 3 beautiful golden apples and a plane to win Atalanta's hand. The next day, Hippomenes appeared at Atalanta's door.
Not another one. Don't you know what will happen to you?
But I'm sure I'll win this race. I feel that the gods are on my side.
Some people just can't take hands. Do yourself a favor and fall in love with someone else.
But the next morning, Atalanta found herself on the very steps on the starting line with a confident young man Hippomenes knew he stood in the very spot where so many other unfortunate suitors had stood before him. A signal was given, "Quick!" and the race began. For the first 100 yards, Hippomenes managed to keep up with Atalanta. Then she started to take off.
I better put my plan into action.
The young man took out one of his golden apples he was hidden in his tunic, tossed a dazzling apple in Atalanta's path.
I'll just stop picking up. After all, I've got him beat already.
When Atalanta stopped, Hippomenes managed to get the lead. When Atalanta got back in the race, it quickly made up for lost time.
Time for me to use my second apple. Just throw this one to the right.
Atalanta went after this apple too, although it took her way off course. She looked up and saw her opponent far ahead of her.
I've got to stop playing. This race is getting serious.
Coming into the home stretch, the runners were neck and neck. Hippomenes knew he had no chance against Atalanta unless he used his brain.
My last apple. Hope it works.
He tossed his last shining, shimmering globe right in Atalanta's path. She knew that stopping would cost her the race. She couldn't help herself. That third apple was even more inviting than the other two. When Atalanta looked up from the apple, she saw Hippomenes crossing the finish line.
Atalanta, I've won. Now marry me.
Yes, I'll keep my word. Even if using those apples wasn't exactly fair. And be your bride.
And so they were married. There's another story about Atalanta and Hippomenes that said they were turned into lions by Aphrodite, who was angry that Hippomenes never came back to thank her for her help. But that tale will have to wait for another day.